Hello YouTube, my name is Fi, and today, like usual, I'm trying a different kind of video. I feel like my channel has sort of stagnated a bit, most likely as a result of me going inactive for a while, but I'd still like to give other types of content a try, as I've still never really seen amazing growth on my channel over the last 2 years, so maybe a branching out of content is necessary until hopefully something clicks. So getting into it, first off, I am really quite passionate for technology, mostly of course revolving around computers, so I'm going to try doing a couple computer revolving videos and of course seeing how they are received. So today's video is hopefully going to be a start to a series where I simply take a budget and build the best PC I can with it. The purpose of this video is for people who are maybe in the market to build a PC but aren't super in the know, for the lack of a better term, and would like a little guidance or would appreciate a suggestion for a PC build. Right before we begin, I'd like to note that I'm a very performance-driven builder. My builds will try to consist of a PC that will give you the most performance in games for the least amount of money possible. And I'm also a big fan of having upgradability. So let's get right into it. Today's build is going to be my suggestion for a PC build in early January 2017 with a $600 budget. This budget will allow for really good gaming performance and 1080p resolution with high to ultra settings in most new titles, and will be a really good entry-level content creation, like live streaming and making videos. For the live streaming part, I try to focus on third-party streaming, such as using your PC to live stream a console game, instead of streaming and playing the game on your PC at the same time. It should be able to handle it, but most likely not very well. So I'd recommend sticking to gaming on the PC, but if you want to use it for live streaming, do it with third party. So kicking off with the CPU, I have chosen the i5-6500 quad-core Intel CPU, clocked at a solid 3.2 GHz. This CPU will handle all modern titles very well, as it is a true quad-core processor, 4 cores, 4 threads. Cooling our i5 is the Cooler Master Hyper 212 Evo. This cooler, in my experience, is very effective, as I'm currently running with it on an i7-6700K at 4 GHz, and my temperatures peak at a very safe and cool 60 degrees Celsius. So with a slightly lower clock chip, it will be more than adequate cooling. For our motherboard, today I've chosen the MSI H110M Micro ATX Socket 115 motherboard. This is a very budget-oriented board, as it's only $60, but still has all of our necessary features and compatibility that we need for our computer to function. Most importantly, the motherboard does in fact support our chosen processor and has a good amount of USB ports. I know USB ports don't seem like they should be a focus, but in my experience they're actually quite important. The board is rocking 4 USB 3.0 ports and 2 2.0 ports. This should be enough for all your peripherals, especially for you content creators out there with webcams, microphones, Elgato capture cards, USB headsets, and of course the essential keyboard and mouse. The reviews are almost all very positive, and as well as just a great choice for this build. For our RAM, I have chosen the Corsair Vengeance LPX kit. These are two 4 GB sticks of DDR4 RAM running at a nice and fast 2133 MHz. I personally have this exact kit of RAM, and it works great. There isn't much to talk about though, it just works really good and has nice heat spreaders. For our hard drive, we have a single Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB hard disk drive. This should be enough space for most, as it has enough for multiple large AAA titles, along with space for movies, photos, videos, and for your operating system. Some may ask why I don't go with a much faster solid state drive, but like I said at the beginning, I'm very performance focused, so shaving off 10 seconds boot time and having a couple applications load a couple seconds faster couldn't warrant another $40 off our budget for a measly 128 gigs of storage, which might hold 2 to 4 games depending on their size and your operating system. Personally, I would much rather go for the 1TB disk drive, but moving on, for our case, I've chosen the Zalman ZM-T4 Micro ATX case. When searching for case, I was looking for compatibility and looks. And yes, this case will support all of our components, and in my personal opinion looks pretty cool, especially for the cheap asking price of only $33. For our power supply, we have the EVGA 500W 80 plus bronze ATX power supply. This little guy could be considered slightly overkill, as our system will only usually draw about 250 watts, but this allows for some good upgradability. This power supply is actually in the PC right next to me, and it flawlessly feeds an overclocked GTX 1070 and a stock i7-6700K. What this means is that down the line you will have the headroom to put in more powerful components without worrying about upgrading your power supply as well. And for the star of our show, today we have the NVIDIA GTX 1050 Ti graphics card. This budget beast will run almost all AAA titles like Battlefield 1 at 1080p 60 FPS on high settings, and especially for lower end games like CSGO, Dota 2, League of Legends, this card will crush those games at their highest settings. In my opinion, this is a perfect build choice for a gamer with a solid $600 budget and wants a very solid 1080p gaming performance. Overall, the total of this build comes out to $601.40. If you agree or disagree with any of my part choices, be sure to leave that down in the description. If this video helped you out any, be sure to leave me a rating as well, and I hope to see you in my next video.